Hey everybody, welcome back to WineupTV. I am still your host Wayne here with the second most handsome man in the world next to me. This is Carlo Trinchero, and when we come back, he's going to tell you all about his roots in Napa Valley and how he got in the wine business and how his parents pretty much kicked him out and told him to do your own thing before you come back to work for the family. When we come back, Carlo will say everything he wants to. Carlo, thanks for coming up to Portland, Oregon, man. You know, I'm sure you don't have a. Do you come up here often?
Yeah. So for my role at Trinchero right now, I do the Western United States for imports. So I do Washington, Oregon, California, Arizona, Idaho, Alaska, Hawaii, and Montana. So I am up here probably every 4 weeks. But
wow,
I do love this city.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what's your take on Portland?
I love it. I love all like the geeky food scene and the mixology and all the cool like.
It is cool, isn't it? And the beer.
The beer's
I mean,
good.
I know you're passionate about wine, but dude, at the end of the day, we have 57 breweries here in Portland. We brew more beer than Germany does as the whole country right here in Portland.
Nice.
Isn't it insane?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, any flavor profile of beer you want, guys. I mean, Portland's it. And you're right on the geeky food scene. We got so many great restaurants here.
Yeah.
You know, we're an hour from Mount Hood, an hour to the beach, an hour to Hood River. So if you want to do the outdoor thing, and it's a nice drive. It's not like it's congested LA hour, you know.
I know that.
It's you get out of town. So all right, so tell me a little bit. You know, the cool thing is you're a grandson, a great grandson of a very prominent name in Napa Valley. And some of your friends you grew up with are who's who of labels, and they're the children of all these people, and that must be a really cool thing to sit back and to say, you know, this is who I run with. These are my friends, and this is what their parents or grandparents started way back in the day. So, Trinchero, talk to me. Talk to them.
It all started in 1948 when my grandfather came from Italy. He actually convinced my Nona, my grandmother, that the Napa Valley was some amazing place, but back then it was kind of a cow town. And he got them all to move to New York, or from New York to the Napa Valley, and that's when he purchased Trinchero1 Winery, which is now probably one of the largest wineries in the United States. So that kind of blew up.
For those of you that are young watching this, Trinchero1, its claim to fame was white Zinfandel, which is a stuck fermentation. They decided to bottle it up, and who knew it would go from like what 10,000 cases or whatever it went from to millions of cases.
It was pretty crazy. I mean, I was just a baby, so I don't know.
Sure.
But my uncle was the winemaker at the time. It was just my grandfather, my great uncle, my Nona, my aunt, my dad, my uncle, and that's pretty much it. That's who worked at the winery. My dad did the sales. My uncle did the winemaking. My grandfather just kind of ran the show, I guess, so to speak. And my uncle got the Zinfandel stuck in fermentation, and he had a blush wine, and they used to sell it at the tasting room, just, you know, as for people, and they sold some to the distributor, and then it was just like, it exploded.
Like wildfire.
It was. The exponential growth was staggering. I saw the charts through the years, and it didn't just double, it tripled, quadrupled. It was just boom, boom, boom. People were all over it.
What is the case production now of the white Zin? Do you know? I mean, that's
we'll probably do almost 4 million cases, 3 million cases.
That's just insane.
And it's actually a category that's kind of slowed down.
Sure.
Yeah,
I think people, you know, that's a good starter wine
yeah.
for a lot of people that didn't grow up on wine. I mean, heck, I drank a lot of the sweeter wine when I was a kid myself, and then your palate kind of evolves from that.
Yeah.
But then again, I think what's cool, the Trinchero label. When did you guys? Because when I was living in Napa, did you have the Trinchero label?
So we used to do a thing called M. Trinchero, which is a dedication to Mario Trinchero, my grandfather, who brought our family to Napa Valley in '48. We kind of revamped it a couple of years ago. We wanted to, because our whole company, we've done so much value wine. So we've had these single vineyards, we own these vineyards, and we wanted to show that, you know, we can make single vineyard estate wine with the best of them. And we dedicated this whole facility. We revamped a facility, just made it absolutely cream of the crop. Everything is like detailed to the point. It's very, very, very high end. I worked harvest here, and it's the TLC that goes into winemaking is unbelievable. We use bins probably about this big to hand harvest grape. It's hand picked, hand sorted 4 different times, and it's handmade. There's only 4 people on hand that touch these grapes, and it's a very, very intense process. And we have an excellent winemaker in Mario Monticelli who's just done an amazing job with it.
Very cool. All right, so let's talk about this. How many acres do you guys own in Napa?
We probably own, I would have to say, 40, 50.
That's
60.
it?
There's not a lot.
No.
As far as in like our single vineyard.
Sure.
So, but we own across the California a lot. So we own quite a few. There's
Sure.
a couple hundred. So.
Outside of Napa?
Well, we get about 100 or so in Napa. If you start getting the sub-appellations outside. But,
Okay.
There's other landowners in that valley that kind of have that locked down. So they've
Sure.
been around for a while.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there's some big players in Napa.
Yeah.
So this all comes as a state fruit?
So this is from our single vineyard estate fruit. This is our Meritage. We have vineyards up on Mount Vita, our Cloud's Nest, Haystack, which is Atlas Peak. We also have South Napa, St. Helena, Rutherford, and Calistoga.
You know, that's kind of like here in the Willamette Valley, there's different AVAs.
Yeah.
So you're sourcing fruit from different AVAs to put all those good ingredients together
Yeah.
to come up with a blend.
Yeah.
So this is the 2008 or 2009 Meritage. Tell us about this wine.
This is a really, really cool wine. It's Cab Merlot, Cab Franc Petit Verdot blend. It's about 65% new French oak what we use on this, and it's from our single vineyard. So you get the Cab from right around the winery, which was Mario's vineyard, which is St. Helena. Then we get a little Rutherford, and then we got a little bit of the mountain fruits. And it's really, the mountain fruits are really unique because Atlas Peak is all afternoon sun, so it's big tannins, dry soil. If you go to the Western Ridge, gets no afternoon sun, so it's very lush, fruit forward, bigger fruit, and you kind of blend all that together with a little Rutherford dust and the St. Helena Cab, and then some of the South Napa Merlot, and we do single vineyard Petit Verdot and single vineyard Cab Franc, which is really, really amazing.
And I'm glad you don't do single vineyard Merlot.
We have one. Actually,
Little sideways
yeah,
thing, right? Yeah.
We have one or two which are very good. I think Merlot is making somewhat a comeback. I know.
It would have to.
I've been using it in blending for my own project as well. It's awesome, and people just overlook it. So.
It is. You know, it's funny because then you talk about Pomerol. I mean, you talk about Chateau Petrus, and it's like 95% Merlot.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and a lot of people don't understand, you know, what a great importance that grape does have in the winemaking, and especially blends. But it seems like Merlot is like that stepchild that never gets any real good credibility in Napa. It's either because it doesn't ripen fully or it ripens unevenly. It's kind of a funky grape in that sense.
Yeah, you got to be careful with Merlot. You don't want it to get overripe, but you don't want it to get underripe. And it is a very, very, if it's done right, very, very good blending component. And I know producers in the Napa Valley that do single vineyard Merlots that could stand up to those French ones easily.
Sure. All right. So, how much time does it spend in a barrel?
These are usually 12 to 16 months, depending on the vintage,
Okay.
depending on the vineyard. Mario Monticelli, we give him pretty much free reign to do what we want. We have steel tanks, we have open top fermenters, we have oak tanks. We use the best oak barrels possible. No expense is spared in making these wines.
Sure.
This is a true.
Well, you have to spend all that profit from the White Zinfandel on something, so you know.
That's what's the benefit of this.
Yeah.
This is the whole production of these. We have about 10, 12 wines. It's only 12,000 cases total.
That's you know, that sounds like a lot, especially, you know, living here in the Willamette Valley, you know, where some producers produce 300 cases or something. But when you talk about Napa Valley and the Trinchero brand, 12,000 cases with everything you do high end, that's nothing.
Yeah,
That's nothing.
It's very small. I mean, you think it's 1,000 cases, and you release it into just about every state, so it's spread pretty thinly.
Sure. And then what's this retail for?
It would retail just above probably between 50 and 60 bucks.
Okay.
So we keep. I mean, at Trinchero Family Estates, we've always wanted to give value to the wines and over deliver. That's been our whole goal. And we do have one, the Signature, that goes all the way up to 100, but that is our most expensive wine. We feel that we can give an amazing Napa Cabernet or Napa Bordeaux blend for under $100.
Sure. And you know, guys, I know $100 sounds like a lot of money, which it is. But then when you talk about some of the your peeps you hung out with, the Harlan's, you know, Phelps, all that. I mean, when their wines are, you know, 6, 7, 8, and Harlan just released their wine at what, $8.99 a bottle.
$899 a bottle. So.
If you guys are out there buying that wine, please, I'll help you drink it. But I think you'll help them drink it too.
Absolutely.
All right, so the profiles in this wine, it's got that, it smells like a Napa Valley
Yeah,
wine.
absolutely.
You know, and it's hard, you know, I lived there for several years, so it's hard to explain that, but it's got that, the dusty tannins, it's got the real opulent fruit, real dark cherry berry fruit. Good tannins, good acid, good length.
Yeah,
You could probably lay this sucker down for at least 5 or 10 years.
absolutely.
You know, don't lay your wines down too long. You know, there's that point where some people hang on to them, and then they go bad. And
You get tired.
they get tired, yeah. But this is, and the '09 comes from a decently warm vintage, and I think it's drinking beautifully. So when we come back, well, I'm going to make him stay around here for another show or two because he does some wines, or he has his hands in a project in South America, in Chile and in Argentina, and now I guess in Italy and New Zealand.
Yes.
So we're gonna try some of those wines. See you in a little while.